All right, YouTube, what is happening? It is time for my full review on the Luft Concepts Avant. It's been in my pocket for about a week straight now, and did a first impressions video. Not much has changed since then, to be honest with you. It's still a fantastic knife, and if you want to watch the first 30 seconds of this video, hopefully you got on the pre-order. If you didn't, then you're going to want to look around, because I know they're possibly going to have some at retailers. That's still up in the air, but take a look out, because you're going to want to get this knife. If you want to stop watching the video now, there you go. But let's get into it a little bit. So let's go over basic dimensions and specs on this guy, do some size comparisons like we normally do, and talk about the different aspects of when I review a knife. So first of all, dimensions, you have a blade length of 3.3 inches. That's nearly perfect. I'm telling you right now, that is nearly the perfect blade shape, or blade length. Blade behind, okay, I love this. On their website, they have the blade thickness behind the edge. I freaking love that. No one does that. No one. I just about poked myself with that. 15 thousandths behind the edge. Okay, that's a slicey knife, right? Everyone wants a knife that cuts well, but a lot of us buy these thick behind the edge knives. They're commonly, out there. Every production company makes them. I'm getting less than 15 thousandths, guys. You guys are lying. Actually, that might be wrong. Let's see. I'm actually getting less. Maybe this is because it's a prototype. I think they're going to try to be around 15 thousandths, but I'm getting like 13 thousandths in this one. So it's even less thickness behind the edge on this knife than advertised. That's amazing. You want sliciness, thickness behind the edge matters. Blade thickness is 0.138. I don't know if you understood what I just said. Blade stock thickness is 0.138. Handle is 4.552. Your overall thickness is 0.486. Width, which is going to be this measurement from here to here, where my thumb and my index finger are, is 1.465. Overall length 7.8 inches. Weight 2.95 inches. Obviously, as we know, manufactured by Riot Knives. So let's talk about the different aspects of, let's do our size comparisons first. I'm going to do, I think, the knives that I think compare mostly to this. I don't have a Koenig Arius. If I did have one. I sold it. I mean, if an Arius was on the table and you mixed all these knives together and this was the outcome, is the Avant. Which makes sense, because Jake, who is one of the designers from Bearded Gear, loves the Arius. It's like an all-time favorite knife. So it makes sense there's some design influence from there. But it's a very unique design. You're not going to find anything like this on the market, which I love. I love that it's unique. But there's the SNG and there's the Para 3. So it's a little bit bigger than the Para 3, a little smaller than SNG. So good size, right in the good wheelhouse. Let's do a couple other knife comparisons here. The Demco 8020.5. Handle length is about the same, but a lot, and cutting edge is about the same too. Maybe a little bit more on the Avant. So if you like it, I need to carry that knife more. Another favorite of mine, the Field Duty EDC from Leon Ma. Slightly bigger in the handle. Definitely more cutting edge on the Avant. And another favorite, the Sheepdog, micarta full size. Very similar. So opening holes everywhere. That's the best kind of way. You know why opening holes are the best? Because they are. Spyderco invented it, and everyone's kind of, Strider did theirs, a little different variation, and you got a few different variations out there, and they just work really well to open a knife. It's my preferred method over thumb studs or a flipper over everything. What's great about this is looking at this knife open, that's only a thumb hole opener, but actually there's a flipper tab, and it's very small, very discreet. Some flipper tabs are massive and huge and unnecessary. Does this knife flip well? Absolutely it does. And guess what? It doesn't have to take up a ton of space. So well done on the flip tab. And I love that it's completely hidden now on the knife. Let's zoom in a titch so you can really appreciate this beautiful piece of cutlery. So, carry. We're gonna start there. How does it carry? Amazing, because it's thin, it's lightweight, under 3 ounces. It does have nested liners on both sides, by the way, which is some serious wizardry So not just the lock bar side, I said that in my first impressions video, there actually is liners on both sides. That's crazy. But the carry-wise, the deep carry clip is a Spyderco wire clip, and it works great. It's not a Spyderco wire clip, it's just a wire clip, but it works great. You can also replace it with, there's, I think it's, oh my heck, Casey Lynch. I think he makes a replacement clip. A few other companies do. If you don't like wire and you want to go to other deep carry, they make a clip that replaces it. So, and those are compatible with this. So carry is phenomenal. Lightweight, easy to carry in the pocket. Don't even notice it's there. You can carry it in shorts, carry it in jeans, carry it in basketball shorts, whatever lightweight shorts you want to wear. It carries great because it's not heavy. It's not really heavy. It does the job. Ergos. This is super important on a knife, guys. More important than most things, really. More important than weight and how it carries. The only thing I would say that's slightly more important than Ergos is how, Ergos and cutting ability are really close for me. Ergos are fantastic. I did my typical testing with this. Did a lot of, did some wood carving in the hammer grip, you know, like this. It's ultra comfortable. There is literally not one hot spot. I don't know how a couple of guys that have never designed a knife before literally like pretty much perfected ergonomics, but they did, at least for my hand. Works fantastic. There's no hot spots in any way, shape, or form. The low profile flipper tab helped a lot with that ergonomics, I think. I think flipper tabs get in the way and hurt ergonomics a lot, so this one does not, and you can choke up here if you need to for fine detail work. I use it for food prep, for my typical cardboard, you know, cutting down the cardboard for the recycle bin, opening packages, just your normal everyday stuff. Probably a little bit more. Didn't baton or do anything crazy with it because it's a freaking folding knife. Not really designed. It's not a hard use folder, I would say. Just a good overall EDC knife, and I think that's exactly how they designed this knife to be. So ergonomics, fantastic in all my cutting I did. Cutting ability, let's talk about that next because that is super important. You already know it's thin behind the edge, thinner. This one's even thinner than 15,000 is what I measured anyway. I got 13, so maybe some other reviewers have, but I'd say the average is probably 15. It's super slicey. That hollow grind is so well done, and it just comes up so high that you don't, sometimes hollow grinds start really low, and they're thin behind the edge here, but they thicken up really a lot. This one does not do that. In fact, you could even measure all the way up here for thickness, and I mean, it's obviously thicker up here than at the edge, but it's not nearly as bad as some knives are. I mean, it definitely thins down at the cutting edge, which it should do. But even up here, it's not overly thick, which is crazy. So cutting ability is fantastic. Blade shape is really good for cutting. Like I said, I like this tip, how it rounds almost like it's not a traditional drop point blade, you know what I mean? It has its own unique blade shape, and almost like I said in the first review, almost has a tanto-ish. If you were to kind of like flatten that out, that'd be a tanto, right? But it's not, it's curved, so there's no tanto edge, but it just works really well when you're like using that tip to open boxes, do things like that. That tip works super well like tantos do, so I like that. Blade design is fantastic, so the cutting ability is top notch. We got carry, we got ergos, we got action, fidget factor. This is a thing for a lot of people. Not as important for me, but I know it is for a lot of people, so I like to talk about it. And you've definitely got that going on. You got the flipper to fidget with, you've got the middle finger flick, you can open with your thumb. So the deployment methods, there's multiple, and it's very fidgety. So if that's your thing, you're gonna like this knife as well. Value. Now this is where things, and I'm not, let me rephrase that. This is where things get weird, is not what I meant to say. This is where there's a discussion right now about the value of this knife and where it's manufactured, and you know the cost, and there's some other ones that are $100 cheaper that are very comparable. There's a few things that went into this knife that are gonna make it more expensive than, let's say, the Vox F5.5 is what I think a lot of people are comparing it to, because it's very similar to my Carta handles, inset liners, titanium liners. It's got, I think it's M390 also, but I think that's actually LMAX. Could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm 90% sure the F5.5 is LMAX still. So M390 is more expensive than LMAX. LMAX has been around a long time, so there's one thing. Two, you have a crown spine on the Luft Concepts Avant. There's not a crown spine on the f5.5. That does add cost. You don't see this a lot. Chris Reeve does this on their knives. They're high-end knives, right? So there's added cost there. And just the overall fact that this is a brand new knife company starting out their business from scratch. This is their first design. They didn't order a ton of these, 300 I believe total. Maybe a little bit more were made. There's going to be a higher cost, guys. Urban Easy Supply is a much bigger retailer. They can have a little bit more buying power. People need to understand that. So I don't think the price is out of range at all. For $300, I would gladly, and I did. I bought one on the pre-order. I got the PBD and Green Micarta, and I would have actually loved. I wish I would have got both. I really do. I kind of bummed that I didn't buy both of them, but I think it's there. I think the value is great. Riyadh is a top-tier manufacturer, arguably the best in the business, and you're getting good materials and it's just a fantastic knife. I don't think the cost is outrageous at all. Will it go down? Possibly if they become bigger and have more models and sell more knives. That could very well happen. But this is kind of their first offering. You see that it's very common for a first offering to be a little bit more expensive. So that's all I'm going to say about value. But I don't think it's off at all. And I gladly paid what I would do, and I think it's worth it. So, yeah, I think that's it, guys. I mean, I think I covered all the things I typically cover with reviewing a knife, and I would say, fit and finish is another thing, which we kind of already discussed with being Riyadh made is fantastic. It's a prototype. This one's a little off center. I haven't really messed with it much, but it's a prototype, and if the production models are anywhere near this good, you're all going to be very happy with the fit and finish of this knife. Just an overall fantastic design. I'm super proud of Jake, and I don't know Ryan much. I know Jake really well, but I don't know Ryan too much. But they did such a great job of their first design. It's so refreshing to see a knife reviewer that has handled so many knives design a knife, because there's lots of things about other knives that we review that we don't like, and I think they try to avoid those with this, and I think they really hit a home run. I really, really do. So props to you guys at Luft Concepts. This is a fantastic folder. I think I'm super stoked to get mine whenever those do release, whether it be end of this year or early next. I'm super excited, and I actually hate to pass this on, but I got to pass this on to another reviewer. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.